Hello, and welcome to Have a Chat. I'm your host for today's show, Judy Loge. We are live at the Rogers Station in Miramichi. I'm joined by my beautiful and bright co-host, Veronique Arsenault. Welcome to all your viewers.
I'm not sure I'm bright.
You are. It's a Monday, but we lost our sunshine.
We did. It's cold and rainy.
Thus the sweater.
I know.
From 30 degrees
I know.
this past weekend to now it's really, really cold.
I know. I was in a sundress last Monday, and now I've got my winter clothes on.
I know. So I'm trying to review what I should keep out and what I should tuck away.
Yeah.
Veronique, I want to hear what your quote is for today.
Oh yes. Well, you know what, and it came to me because partly because of our wonderful guests that are going to share this show with us today, but also because we had a fantastic weekend out on Friday night, and I just know how much you and Gerard give, and I give my time, and you guys do too. So and people often ask me why. And this is why. So it's a St. Francis of Assisi quote, and it says, "It is in giving that we receive." And it's true. Like, it's that feeling of joy and fulfillment that you can get in helping someone, or giving back to someone, or donating your time even, to something that you care about.
You sure have, like tenfold.
Well, I learned that from you, though.
Were you a giving kid? Like, I know that I used to love to volunteer as a child. I think that maybe was instilled by my mom, who was always community-minded and wanted to do things. Even though she taught school full-time, she was always trying to do extra things, like teach drama and do volunteer work in some capacity. So, yeah, I loved it from the time I was a kid. Or did you grow into it as a teenager or adult?
The first time I volunteered, I was 6.
Oh.
And it was at the Special Olympics.
So young, very young.
And it was because of mom. Mom and dad expected it of me and of themselves, and they always did it. And we came from a family that always did. And I remember mom taught kids with disabilities in Montreal, and there was a special school actually dedicated to kids with disabilities, and mom taught there. And like, I would go most days after school. I would go on their field trips. So I learned really from a young age. And then it was the summer Special Olympics. They were in June at the end of the school year, and I was handing out the McDonald's orange juice. It's not really juice, but it's that orange stuff that they put. And there I was. That was my volunteer work.
But it's such a good feeling, because you're not doing it for money. You're not doing it as a child, or even now for recognition, because we don't need at this age titles, or I don't want to be the president of anything or be the chair of anything. I just want to belong and make a difference.
Yep.
But I thank you for all your community work, Veronique. It's endless for sure.
Well, and but I get so much out of it. Like, that's where I get my energy. That's where I get my drive. That's where I get some of my proudest moments in my life.
From volunteering and giving back.
Absolutely.
What did you think of the big Jason Cyrus hypnosis show on Friday the 13th at the Civic Center?
Oh my goodness. I belly laughed the entire show.
Me too.
And I've seen other hypnotists in the past, and I've actually been to Jason as a client and been hypnotized, not publicly. But it was hilarious, but still family friendly.
Yes.
And not embarrassing. No. I mean, they probably wouldn't normally have done a lot of the things that they did, but I loved it.
People were so adamant that I was going to go up there and be hypnotized. I would rather be shot twice in the head than go up there. I will never go up there, ever, in a million years. I want to be in control.
Yes.
And I think I've been to one hypnosis show ever at university. It was mind-blowing. And the fact that you can get so deep into the subconscious was just a wow. But seriously, Veronique, we needed to laugh so badly. My husband was just like, his stomach was sore.
Yeah.
My son was beside me. He couldn't stop laughing because he knew some of the participants.
Exactly.
And my sister's boy and his girlfriend were on stage, and Logan's fairly shy. And to see him up there dancing and just giving it for all he was worth, I thought, this is a Kodak moment.
Oh, you know what? I absolutely loved it. And just seeing, you could hear the laughter in the crowd, and you could see the joy on people's faces, and it was amazing to see Jason do what he does.
Wow.
That is a gift.
It is. It's shocking, actually, what he can do.
I know.
And how he can make these people do things that they normally would never do.
I know.
Oh my gosh, it was fun. It was fantastic, and it was just a great weekend overall. My brother and his wife came over for the show from Fredericton, and they joined their daughter, and her boyfriend, and then we had all of my family and you and your family,
Yeah.
and so many people. It was so packed there. It was just grand. And today is my brother Bruce's birthday. I won't say how old he is, but he's phenomenal. I love him to death. And we celebrate him on the weekend. So
Good.
happy birthday to Bruce.
Yes.
If you happen to see this show, he deserves all that and more in the way of great celebration.
He's lovely, and we've had him on the show, which is wonderful. So he's just I love
Yeah.
Bruce, but I love your whole family because they've been in my life, for most of my life. So
Yes.
I'm lucky that way.
Yes. I was just thinking just before the show that we're trying to keep the show positive, and it's so positive because the news is so heavy and hard. But you know what? It still is happening, and we still have to be aware and looking at issues that are affecting us worldwide. And particularly in the United States this past weekend, back to back,
Yeah.
horrific crimes of hate took place
Yeah.
in the U.S. And one was in Buffalo, New York, where the 18-year-old drove 300 kilometers into a neighborhood largely Afro-American and went into the supermarket and shot down and killed 10 people, injuring 3 more.
It's shocking, that it's 2022 and we're still seeing, this hatred all over the world, and most specifically in the U.S. in this particular case. And, yes, that 18-year-old drove 3 hours to purposefully kill people.
And he had some previous, like the authorities had him on the radar. In high school, they had to do a project, and he wrote about he wanted to commit a murder-suicide.
Oh my gosh.
So how? And then there were other issues, like they had him in. I've been reading up on this boy, and shockingly enough, he was released after a mental evaluation, but watched because of his supposed remarks he had made towards other colors and people, and it was so disturbing. And then he actually committed the act and legally purchased that gun in New York.
Yeah, but the U.S. doesn't have a problem with gun laws.
No, because in California, right after that, another, I don't know how old this person was, he actually went into a church luncheon, a Taiwanese church setting, and killed an individual and injured others. And those dear parishioners were very brave and heroic because they were actually able to detain him, tie him up, and keep him there until the police arrived and took him into custody and apprehended, confiscated 2 weapons at least.
That's incredible.
It's horrifying, Veronique.
It is. But sadly, I mean, we thankfully don't see it as often in Canada, but we've had our own, hate crimes. The mosque killing a few years ago, and there's been others, sadly. So, again, it's just shocking in this day and age that we cannot realize that, just because we're different doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
No, and you know what I find in our community? I'm so thrilled that in our subdivision where I grew up, since I was 6 years old, is a huge subdivision. You're now belonging to that yourself. You have a home nearby mine.
The hood.
And when I drive around now, all of the former neighbors I had growing up are largely gone, unfortunately. They are, elderly, have passed on. But the amount of beautiful newcomers to our area from all over the place. I was driving down the street the other day, and this lovely gentleman with his little girl was sitting by the curbside waiting for the bus to come to deliver her sibling. And I stopped. And I said, "Hi, I'm Judy, and how are you? And you must be new to the neighborhood because I'd never seen them before." And he said, "Yes, we are. We live in that house right there." And I asked her how old she was. She said 6 years old.
Aww.
I asked him where he was from, and they said Dubai.
Oh.
That's so far away.
Yes.
Dubai. And I thought, oh, wow, he's coming. And then all kinds of people in our church right now. Beautiful, warm Filipino families are just coming into our area, just so numerous. And African American people that I'm waving to and smiling and introducing myself to.
Yeah.
Beautiful people.
I know.
And I'm so proud to embrace them in Miramichi.
I know, and you know what, the Miramichi and mayor and council before I became a councillor really focused on increasing the population here in Miramichi. And we actually had a population growth in the last census, which hadn't happened in a long time. And the focus was on bringing new Canadians to the area, because we know that if they can settle here and have family here, that they'll live here, right? And that
sure.
contributes to the economy. It contributes to new enterprises. It contributes to everything. And so that was the focus of the last mayor and council. It is, of course, of our new council as well. But it's great to see because you learn.
You sure do.
You learn and you get to experience new things, and you see all these wonderful new neighbors, and I love it.
What a boost to our city.
I think
am
it's
so proud.
fantastic.
Welcome to each and every one watching this show if you're new to the
Absolutely.
Miramichi area and surrounding area. I just want to say one thing I meant to say at the beginning was when Bruce and Rhonda were here from Fredericton for the celebration of his birthday with family, and he had been to the show, as I said. On their way back to Fredericton, they spotted a Black Panther. And I said, "Are you sure?"
It's
and they
terrifying.
said, "Yes, we're sure." We couldn't get the camera out fast enough, but it went right across in front of us, and there it was. And you know what's scary? I did some research on the Black Panther, and in New Brunswick, scientists aren't questioning the fact that they're there. They're questioning how many are there, and that they are there, and that they're living in our backyard woods area. And so, Veronique, I'm not taking our dogs in the woods anymore.
No.
We've been doing it on the trails. But
yeah.
if they're in New Brunswick woods and backyards lurking, that's pretty scary.
That's terrifying to me because I wouldn't even know what to do. Like it's terrifying. And I mean, I have 2 little dogs as well, and and Dad's got his big doggy, and we walk those puppies everywhere. So
and they're wild and they're predatory, and they apparently though they don't attack unless provoked. But if you're in their territory or near their cubs, they will absolutely be there, and they can claw, and they can harm, and they can kill. Yeah. So I'm not trying to scare people, but who would
just
think
be aware.
that? I'm thinking the movie Black Panther, and I thought it was a joke. I said, "You can't be serious."
Yeah.
And they said no. And then they had spotted some of the Woodstock area people did not that long ago either.
Terrifying.
But are you excited for the long weekend coming up?
Absolutely, I am. Yeah, I can't wait. And I always feel like when that long weekend comes, it's kicking off summer, and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to get some vacation in a little bit. I'm going to get relaxed a little bit. I'm going to sit in the backyard a little bit more.
It feels good.
Yeah.
I'm really good with the sun.
Yeah.
Some people are complaining, when it was 30 degrees, the heat. I'm thinking, bring it on. It can't be enough for me. I'm a summer girl through and through. Is that your season?
I'm a fall girl,
okay.
But I am really looking forward to this summer. I've got a lot of actual vacation planned, and just looking forward to relaxing a little bit.
Me too. And we're getting our deck, our furniture out in our deck now, and we're starting to work on the pool, and we're starting to. I'm trying to get my summer clothes organized because I want to wear them pretty soon. But we have certainly some really nice guests coming up today. I'm quite thrilled.
I'm pretty excited about this show.
And Lila Berry's coming on, and she's going to be talking about her membership with J Connection, which we're going to get into very soon as to what that is and how she's involved. And Julie Nolan.
I know.
A beautiful young lady that's in high school, going to share a story about how things were just so wonderful in the way of J Connection and how one thing led to another.
Absolutely.
So I'm pretty excited.
Can't
and
wait.
I really love being back in the studio. Don't you?
Different,
Live?
eh? Yeah. It's what, it's funny. I missed it absolutely. I missed being able to connect with people in real life, and I found it harder to do the taped shows at home. I found them more exhausting.
Yeah. And you're very technical though, and I'm not. Like I can do my emails and I can send letters and I can, I'm not bad. But when it comes to being at home and then working from Fredericton and Master Control working to make sure everything jives, at least it could be edited. Yeah. But now we have to watch everything we say because, you just have to be right on the ball. This is live TV.
I know. And it's funny because people always say, which did you find harder? Like, don't you find live TV hard? I'm like, well, sometimes. But I mean, sometimes I'm not on the ball and I'm like, what am I going to say next? But I did find taping from home a little disconnected in some ways, but it's great to be back in the studio, and we got to be a little bit more on the ball.
It is, and again, we're taking COVID precautions for anyone that's just wondering about us and our guests. We do the questionnaire, the health check before I come on the show.
My little mask that you come in
we
with.
wear a mask in the studio, and we do the COVID questionnaire, health questionnaire that Rogers has established. We have to have our guests proof of vaccination and questionnaire done, and so I'm very proud of the fact that the Rogers company is taking precaution against everything that's because it's still happening and there's still COVID, but I'm just starting to live again and doing my thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm, it's something that Mom and I talk a lot about, right? Because she is compromised, and I same with your parents. You have to be really careful around your parents. So, for Mom and I, we still take precautions. We wear our mask in most places. I still have a industrial size, bottle of Purell, and but. We have been a few more places,
Exactly.
We're going out again, and we were so excited to be at the Civic Center on Friday night with just, everybody and everybody, most people were wearing their masks on Friday night too.
Yes.
So, it's just people are still being careful. But I think we're at that point where, we can be careful and still have a bit of a life.
Well, I look at my husband too. I mean, this pandemic's been going on past 2 years, and he's very much present in the hospital front line and has worked in the CCU many times. And unfortunately, with COVID patients, he's not gotten it yet, knock on wood. Neither has my son, who works as a physician in Halifax, or his girlfriend, who's a nurse. They have not acquired, gotten that yet. But they're so goggled up and masked up and shielded up and gowned up, and so he's just, and it never takes that N95 mask on when he's around anyone that he thinks might even be a potential risk. So even at home, if I have a ticklish throat or a little bit, I'll get that rapid test out. I still have that kit from last year.
I know,
and I take it.
And same. I started feeling under the weather about 3 weeks ago, and thought it was the flu at first. Kept swabbing my nose, and I swabbed my throat and my nose, and I did about 15 tests, just day after day after day. Wasn't COVID and wasn't the flu, probably a little bit run down, and that's okay. That I can fix. But but that's the thing, right? Keep testing myself. And at one point I thought, if I have to shove another stick up my nose, I'm going to lose it.
I hate that feeling. But
it's a terrible feeling, but I kept doing it.
I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to say what my little remedy is. It's oil of oregano drops. It is the yuckiest, grossest thing, but I get it at the drugstore, and it's just a little vial of natural oil of oregano. Horrible, absolutely. But I take the drops if I feel a little bit run down. I take vitamin C, and I take echinacea. Now, none of that's been proven to cure anything, but for me, that's my cocktail.
Well, and I started vitamin C a couple of days ago.
So we are going to go to break, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming back very soon. Don't go too far, because as I said, I've mentioned who the guests are. Veronique and I are excited to have a big chat with them. Don't go far. Grab yourself a nice cold drink and join us back for more Have a Chat very soon. And if you're just joining us, we're back with more Have a Chat. Again, I'm your host for today's show, joined by my lovely favorite person. You are one of my very favorite people.
Well, ditto.
It's a serious truth. Veronique Arsenault, my co-host for today. We take turns with this, and we are here to welcome the lovely Lila Berry.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
We're so glad to have you, Lila.
Thank you.
And she was here, you were here one other time on a whole other different topic. So today we are here to talk about something very interesting, something that's kind of near and dear to my heart, and that is an online group on Facebook that I started probably 2.5 years ago, maybe 2, because I wanted to address the anti-bullying. I'm an activist for that, and I've never been bullied, nor have my kids been bullied, but it's something that I worked with a lot with youth, and it was something that really always bothered me to see kids bullied and kids that are bullies, and as to why they do it. So then it kind of branched out during COVID and not being able to get into the schools to talking about other issues that kind of are tied into bullying, dysfunctional home lives and substance abuse and anger and jealousy. So with that, basically before we start, now that the viewers know what we're here to talk about, tell us a bit about yourself first.
Well, I actually grew up in Redmondville, which is a small community about 20 minutes from Chatham. I grew up, I have three brothers and a sister, and I am the daughter of Clarence and Mary Cook.
Nice people. They were beautiful. I remember them. Yes.
And as an adult, every time I choke up when I talk about my mother and father.
And we do the same.
I don't. I know, and I'll be doing that when I'm 90.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
We do
hard.
the same now.
As an adult, I moved to Chatham, married Brent Berry. He's a hiller, and together we had 2 children. My oldest son, his name is Adam, and he has a wife. His wife's name is Dana. Three beautiful grandchildren,
Oh.
and 1 more on the way coming in
Oh,
November.
wow. Blessed.
Maybe we'll get the girl.
So excited.
Didn't hear me
Maybe
say
you
that.
will.
You didn't hear me say that.
No, but that's beautiful.
And I my youngest son, his name is Richard, or
Yes.
Ricky. We call him Ricky for short.
Yes.
So I've been really been blessed.
Yeah.
And so that takes me back into my career path. I started out in 1974 as a human service counselor, worked at the old institution. Do you remember the old institution? I was there working with adults with disabilities.
Yeah.
And then that took me to like war services and the Howard Henderson House. And then in 2004, I changed the direction a little bit. I moved from the adult department to the children's department.
Yeah.
So I went to UNB and took the Autism Intervention Training Program. I was the first group to take it, and that was in 2004. So after that, I worked with preschool children with children with autism, and then I went into the school system and worked with children. And then one day I knocked on the door, and one of the directors said to me, former director, said to me, "Why don't you come work here?"
Beautiful.
So, and I said, okay, I'll do that. So it was at the end of the school year, and I said, well, you know what, I'm ready for another challenge. Yeah. So I stayed there from 2011 to 2016. Then I retired, and after 42 years, and I said, see ya, I'm tired. I'm going home. I'm tired.
Beautiful job, Lila.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Your work's definitely important, and you've reached many, many people, and I can testify to that because I've talked to many that she's worked with and loved, and you know, she's an incredible person.
For sure. Let's talk a little bit about J Connection for a second. So I'm a member, but how long have you been a member?
Well, I can't give you a specific date. All I can tell you is during COVID, during the lockdown and the isolation period, and I got to look at 2 faces, my husband's face and my son's face.
Yes.
And I said, these aren't pretty faces anymore. I want a pretty face to look at.
Love them, but I'm tired.
So anyway, so I found the virtual experience, and that was through J Connections. When I joined J Connection, I wasn't exactly sure what it was all about, so I kind of sat back and observed for probably, I'm going to say 4 or 5 months, and then one day I just jumped in, and now I just continue to jump.
Good.
I go from one extreme to the other, and say too much.
Yeah, sure.
So anyway, but I was really impressed with the positive interactions that was going on with that group, and of course, you know that the coordinator of that group is Miss J.
Yes.
And what I see is that she's got a really nice aura about herself, and people listen to what she has to say.
Absolutely.
And
Oh,
she
we
says,
hope sometimes.
anyway, she has a lovely messages to say, and that's to say that we're all connected and that we all matter. So I think it's time for you to give yourself a little pat in the back. If she doesn't give it to her, Brittany.
Yes, but listen now, I started this, and J Connection, for anyone that's saying, what the heck is that, was Judy. I thought connection would be me connecting with you and Veronique, and then you spread it around, and we each, you know, get back, and then it grows and grows, and it doesn't always come up under the on the computer under J Connection the exact amount of members, because it only rolls around and brings it up the total of membership about every 8 months. So it should be soon, but it's almost by my total of membership, like as going through my list, about 4,000 people now,
incredible.
which is a lot.
Incredible.
It's a lot. And we have people that are onlookers, and we have very many participants that engage in the discussion and give advice. And so you've been talking to people from this area and how it has personally benefited them?
Oh, actually, I've asked some people on this group to submit a few words.
Okay.
So I'm going to read some of this information.
Great.
So that I mean, I think I had about 40 people, and I just kind of highlighted because it was going to take me like 10 pages to write the whole thing. So let me just read the condensed version.
Yeah.
So J Connection is an absolutely amazing community that comes together. That's from one person.
Yep.
It started as an anti-bullying platform, but this person gave beautiful, beautiful remarks. Is safe and respectful form. That's what I like. And regardless of who you are, whether your shoes are shiny or your shoes are full of holes, your voice is equally valued.
Yeah.
So true.
Absolutely.
So that's important. So how great is it to know people who accept and love and support you and others? It inspires us all to be more than we were yesterday. So J Connection teach us to love others and to love ourselves.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
that's so important.
Really important.
Because, we can see others, but we can't see ourselves. It's like you can pick out somebody else's best features, but
Yes.
pick out your own best features.
It's tougher. Yeah.
It's tougher.
Absolutely.
That's why this week I chose the theme self-acknowledgement.
Yes, yeah.
How do we really see ourselves?
Yeah.
Members received messages of love and strength during their difficulty times. So isn't that wonderful that somebody's going, a total stranger will sit there, take the time to say, I'm listening to you, and I know you're going through a rough, hard spell.
Yeah.
Is there
Absolutely.
anything I can do?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I want to describe what a member said about Judy.
Oh,
A member described Judy as real, raw, and funny, full of community and trust. I couldn't agree more. That's me now. She's teaching the importance of being kind and giving back.
Absolutely.
and remaining humble.
Okay.
I am what you see. I don't put
Yeah.
any. I'm not pretentious. I am what I am, and so are
Absolutely.
you. And Lila, this is the same.
So this group has extended really not just in Miramichi. I know people are on the East Coast, and I know people on the West Coast
Yeah.
that are
Ooh,
taking it,
absolutely.
and probably in other countries as well.
Australia,
Down-
I have them from everywhere.
Yes, it's amazing. So let me end a little bit this conversation about what else that I said. J Connection members give positive support to each other. They open and share personal experiences
Yes.
without judgment, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
They often say that Judy's been a great role model, and many members are stepping up to the plate to follow her lead. So what we're seeing is a building of communication.
Yeah.
Communication is not breaking down; it's building.
No, that's right. Yeah.
So you have a sense of community, and it's getting stronger and stronger every day. The nice thing is you realize that you have your own perspective, right? And that's easy. But to see someone else's perspective, and that we go beyond ourselves, is important. So being aware of self and others is so important. But the big thing I feel this group has is you don't have to feel alone in this.
No, that's
No.
right.
Your fears and your anxiety are validated by others, even if you can't validate them yourself. So really, J Connection is an anchor, and on those days that we go through rough times, it gives comfort. So it's an awesome show, a place to show your hurt and your pain. You're dealing with your addictions, your health issues, your emotional pain, and just when you're having good times, it's great. So it's whether you're going through joy in your life or grief.
Or not, yeah.
It's important people that we're responding with love to the community. So finally, for this conversation, I would like to say kudos to Judy, the queen bee, and her working bees. The members of J Connections. Love you, girl.
Thank you, Lila. And like I said, it takes one person to start something, but it takes an army, like all of the
Absolutely.
people involved. I want to say thank you to the membership, yourself, Veronique, every single member, because like I couldn't do it alone, right?
Yes.
It's like a teacher in a classroom without students to participate in. It's not going to work.
That's right.
I know we don't have a whole lot of time. Thank you so much. What did you want to ask her about?
I'm
Thanks,
really
Lila.
excited about something that you actually proposed to Judy and what came of it. So
Okay.
talk to us a little bit about how you've actually made somebody's dream come true.
Well, this high school student, her name is Julie Nolan. She's my neighbor. But I had put a post on and asked if anybody was willing to sell or donate a prom dress,
Right.
saying that a young lady needs some help. So anyway, Judy comes back and she grants us the request because it's not a typical request that we.
Right.
But anyways, in her kindness, it took off. Instantly, the posts went wild. I had over 400 some posts that I had to answer.
Oh.
That's just J Connection posts.
Yes.
Because people were messaging me privately,
Yeah.
and they're like, if we had probably, I'm going to say, at least 50 offers for dress.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And you know, so I had a number of dresses that came to my house, and she finally found the dress that she loved. It's just a real princess dress.
Yeah.
But Julie didn't know any of this was going on at the time, because I was just using nobody's name. I just said a
Yes,
girl, my
yeah,
girl.
yeah.
So what I called her, my girl.
Yeah.
So then it later on became your girl, and
Yeah.
then later on after that it was like our girl.
Yeah.
So once she was adopted into this
Yes.
community, everything was our girl.
Yeah.
So it was incredible. I mean, and during the time I got those messages, everybody wanted to support her, you know, or encourage her, because this young girl wasn't sure she was going to get to her prom.
Yeah.
So every young girl needs to go to her prom.
Right, prom is one of those memories, absolutely, and we talked about it a little bit before. Prom is so expensive.
Unbelievable.
I don't even know how our young people are doing it these days. It was expensive back in my day, and that was 160 years ago. And now I think about all the stuff that they have to come up with too. It's expensive.
And with inflation and the cost of everything, you know, like people in boutiques are having to raise their prices for
Yeah.
their items in their stores, and
Absolutely.
you're thinking what something used to be 100, now it's 120. Or
Yeah.
I'm just so thrilled, Lila, that you were able to initiate this. And like I said, something that we don't do often
No.
in J Connection, because we'd be doing it for everybody. But I thought this is something I'm going to take a chance on, and we're going to do something beautiful for this girl.
Anyway, so that took off, and then actually one of the members said, well, why don't we give her the prom experience, not just the dress.
Yes.
So that just went wild.
Yeah.
It went wild, and it's like all of a sudden, you know, there's a gift card here, there's a gift card there, there's, you know,
Donations.
donation from, you know, from the different hairdressers or in the community. It was, you know, get your nails done, get your hair done.
Amazing.
Yeah, you know, a donation, you know, to get your signage in your yard. Or,
Yeah.
So I mean, it was and she actually, they wanted to do such a nice thing for her. They even gave her a new pair of glasses so she could start to drive again.
Oh, wonderful.
Wow-wee.
Isn't that
But it takes
amazing?
someone like you, going back to the giving back part, Lila, it takes someone like you that's special and has that heart for giving to someone that, you know, would just brighten their day and make it so much easier to go through prom than having to work extra hours and buy this and buy that. And like you said, everything costs a fortune right now.
Yeah.
And so you were amazing to start that off, and I want to give you a big thank you.
I agree.
Because if I was that girl on the receiving end, I would hope that someone, if I was thinking, oh my gosh, this much for my hair, this much for my nails, that someone would pitch in. And they certainly did, like not just in J Connection, but like you said, throughout the community. And Miramichi people are givers.
Always.
Oh, absolutely.
Incredible.
It's amazing, incredible. So anyway, at home, the story is, okay, I have two sons. I have a biological son, an adopted son. Now I have an adopted daughter.
Yes.
She is beautiful.
Yes.
They did a video on J Connection as to when it all unfolded, and how, you know, we're going to have her on very soon too. That's the exciting part. We're going to get to talk to this young lady from her perspective of it all. And like, it was so enthusiastic and heartwarming that my eyes were filled with tears, because it's just a beautiful thing to be able to make a very, very special thing happen. Even if we just do it once for somebody. I've never been surprised like that, really. I don't think I have.
No, me either.
It's a miracle. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a little miracle happening for a lovely little girl.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a
lovely.
little girl. She's a grown woman.
A young woman.
Yeah, but when she's been my neighbor for so long that
Yes.
you know, you see the little ones.
She's like your own.
She's like your own, yeah. So anyway, so how lucky is she, though? When you think, even the pink Cadillac is going, she's coming in the really pink Cadillac.
Well.
No coaching carriage, but a pink
Hey,
Cadillac.
listen.
Hey, that's even better.
I think I'd like the pink.
Yeah, me too.
My prom wasn't that at all. Let me tell you, I went with a guy that I won't even talk about him. And the car wasn't that great, and it rained cats and dogs the whole night. My dress was kind of, I don't even know why I picked it. But if I was to do it all again today, I know looking back, I would do it all differently if I could, if I had the money as a young girl to do it.
Oh.
But this is going to be all put together, and prom is coming up next month.
Oh, it's hard to believe.
And we hope to see some of the J Connection members there in T-shirts cheering this girl on. Rah, rah,
I
rah.
want pictures, absolutely.
Okay, so listen, we're going to bring Julie on. Lila,
Yes.
thanks so much for that. Don't go anywhere, anybody, because we're going to bring this young lady on to talk about all of her side of it. And thank you so much, Lila.
Okay, thank you.
Be right back, guys. Thanks. And welcome back to Have a Chat. If you're just joining us, I'm your host for today's show, Judy Loge, joined by my wonderful co-host, Veronique Garcineau. It's cloudy out, but we're trying to brighten up the set
right.
here. We're live with Rogers in Miramichi, New Brunswick. So proud to be here. We have a lovely young lady on set with us, Julie Nolan.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here with you
We're
guys.
so excited.
You look beautiful, and it's kind of like, as people that may have just been watching, it's a follow-up to Lila Berry's talk about J Connection and the online site that brings people together from all over the community, talking about happy things, sad things, whatever things.
Yeah.
But it's basically our community involved in helping each other
Yes.
and lift each other. So
Isn't that
first of
beautiful?
all, tell the viewers a little bit about yourself.
Oh, for sure. Okay, I am a middle child. I have an older brother, Jared, and a younger sister, Jordan. My beautiful mother, Corinne, works with me at the Superstore. She's in the deli, so I'm sure a few people around know who
Probably
she
see
is.
her all the time.
She's got a big personality.
Awesome.
I
And
tell
I
you.
think you do, actually.
I probably
You
see
have
her
a
all
big
the time.
personality, too.
I try. I mean, I try to make people smile. I love doing that. That's why I really love working there.
And I love being around people like you. We said
Oh,
that
yeah.
last week, didn't we, Veronique? We like to be around positive.
I know.
Oh yes, and there's so many lovely people in the community like yourself that come through my cash and just make it so much easier. We're just like having this lovely exchange, and it keeps getting passed on to the next person and the next person. So you see how it snowballs?
Exactly.
I love it.
You're making a difference just
Absolutely.
by doing that, making that effort to genuinely be yourself and be greeting people and genuinely happy to serve. It
Yes.
makes a big difference.
I love it. I love it. So how long have you been a member of J Connection?
I've been a member at least since Lila told me about it. I wasn't too big on groups on Facebook, so this was very new to me.
Okay.
But seeing the response from people, from what Lila had done,
Yes.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
I just had to join. That was around February,
Yeah.
I believe.
Good
Okay.
stuff.
So what are you finding and what are you hearing and how do you find J Connection valuable and benefiting people like yourself and other people you talk to as such in the community? Do you hear?
It's valuable. Well, it's valuable because it really offers a space for people to be their full selves. I know that everyone needs that sense of belonging, that sense of love. Everyone, especially during the pandemic, it's been so rough for people.
It's been hard, eh?
Yeah, so it's really nice for people to have that space to go to.
And you do feel safe. I know sometimes I don't open up sometimes like I should, but for example, last week was on people living with chronic illness or pain. Now, I am very fortunate in that I have like an arthritic pain. I am not one of those people that it holds me back from doing what I normally want to do. I do everything. But I work through that pain. But it's not always that easy. So you had people coming and sharing about their pain and how it affects them. And it doesn't affect me mentally as much, but some people, of course, get really depressed. So
Yes.
they were opening up about it. And I thought, well, I want to be authentic too and talk about my pain. It's not enough to keep me down, but it's there.
Yeah.
And we all have something. We all have something. Nobody's life
Absolutely.
is perfect. And sometimes they think, oh my gosh, hers is so perfect. It can't be anything
Yep.
wrong. Not true.
No,
Exactly.
and it's. I had opened up a while ago. One of your topics was body shaming, and I had opened up about being a public figure. I mean, I live my life
Yeah.
very, very publicly,
Right
right?
here.
Yeah, but and what people had said to me, like,
Yeah.
when you live your life publicly, people feel like they have a right to you, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
they have a right to say what they want. So, it was really wonderful to hear from people that they were surprised at what people said to me, like,
I know.
as I was campaigning, and stuff like that. But you're right, it provides an opportunity for people to support.
Be themselves.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I think people are now seeing other people come through, so it's going to open up more avenues of conversation. I really, really do.
Absolutely. So you're graduating this year.
I know, isn't
That's
that exciting?
That's a very exciting. That's a very exciting time. And I know, I think back to my prom. We were talking about our prom dresses before the show, and mine was terrible. It was a wedding dress. But anyway, at the time, that's what we did. But so prom is a huge part of graduating, and we think about what a big deal that is. So talk to us a little bit about how Lila really kind of made your prom night special.
Special. Oh, she got involved into my life, and that just made the difference there to have her support there, because I originally wasn't going to attend it. It's so overwhelming,
And
Absolutely.
overrated sometimes.
Absolutely overwhelming, and we talked a little bit about it. It's very expensive,
It is, and not everyone has that.
Nope.
Extra. It's a
No,
lot of money you're
exactly.
dishing out for that one night. It's
know,
one
I know.
night.
I know. So
So what happened? What did she do? Tell us about the J Connection. And I know she reached out to me, and you didn't know
Yes.
about it. So let us, tell Veronique and I and the viewers all about the surprise element and how it presented itself.
Right, okay, so she made the post and I was just totally oblivious, and then she comes to me and she's like, "You'll never believe what happened." And I was waiting all day. I was at school and waiting like, "Oh, what could have happened?" And she comes and shows me the support of all of these people that I've never met before.
Oh wow, that would be bigger. Yeah.
Because had you told her at that point that you probably weren't going to go?
Well, I was pretty much, she could tell
Yeah.
that I wasn't gonna
Yeah.
do anything like that. I needed to save money and everything, so
Yeah.
So she brought you to her house, and what exactly went down? She told you what? That you're going to get a dress, and what else? And actually, to date, what have you been presented with as contribution for your prom next month?
Oh, she told me that what her original intention was for the post.
She
which
wanted a
was-
dress, right?
Yeah, she wanted a dress.
Yeah.
And boy, did we ever get a
Beautiful,
dress.
I bet.
Oh yeah.
And you love your dress?
It feels amazing.
Yeah.
You're going to be a princess. So what else? Now, let's talk about other things. Hair, nails, all of that. Shoes. It is jewelry. When you think about it, it's huge.
Well, and it's been 30 plus years since I graduated.
I won't even say.
And I remember so I had my dress made, which I don't know how I thought I had enough money to do that back then. But I had my dress made, but everybody was getting their dress made by Colette. She was
Right.
amazing. And then I remember I went to Digdon Shoes, where my restaurant used to be, and got my satin shoes dyed to match my dress.
Oh wow.
But I did my own hair.
Yeah. But what
There you
now?
go.
Is it bigger and more expensive than ever? It probably
Yeah,
is
it would
now
be.
in 2022.
Oh, yes, and everyone feels this major pressure
Yeah, of
to
course.
go all out when you
know.
really, really don't need to. But
So Lila mentioned a pink Cadillac.
yeah, someone offered to drive me in a pink Cadillac, which was just insane. Everyone was offering anything they could. Hairstylists were like, "We could do your hair for you." It's beautiful to see people
Giving.
giving, and what they have, it doesn't necessarily have to be monetarily.
That's right.
It's like giving your skill,
Yeah.
and for me, I can give back by giving a smile
Yeah.
at work,
Oh,
you know?
Absolutely. I wish
know.
everyone was like you. We'd have a much lovelier society, but if people had your attitude.
Well, we can really change things, even with those that are not so
Yeah.
lovely, because they're not feeling very lovely. So.
That's right.
No.
Yeah.
So you do see the value, like Veronique and I do, and Lila, she's just on here, of giving back
Definitely.
You said it with your work.
Beautiful.
Do you
Yes.
see like kids your age group doing more now, like volunteering?
Yes.
Yes?
I do. My school, James M. Hill, they really offer everything that you would imagine possible. Yeah, they love to give back. There's like Interact Club and Environmental Club.
Yep.
Just in every way students can give back, because I think they see the value that we have as a community, as
Absolutely.
students.
I see so much potential with these kids. Like,
Right.
I mean,
That's the thing.
yes, growing up, there were those standouts, and there were certain kids that went like above and beyond to give back within the school and extracurricular. But now I find young people are really like the adults out there. Like they're leading
no
the
question.
way in so many avenues.
No question. And we're both Tommies. Once a Tommy, always a Tommy.
Always a Tommy,
Yeah,
James
once a
M. Hill,
Tommy,
go,
always
go,
a
go.
Tommy. And I even taught at James M. Hill years ago. And you're right, there's such an environment. We see that more and more in the school district now. There's such an environment of, creating and helping students to become the leaders that they want to be. And it's
That is
amazing.
so true.
You all will far outweigh everything that we will ever do in our lives.
What?
Yeah, sorry.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no,
but-
absolutely.
Yes, you will. I'm being funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Because there's so much potential that you all
Oh,
have,
yeah.
and I love
we
it.
all have that inside.
Yeah, I love it.
But I mean, these young people, I'm going to say it right to you, Julie, because are facing a lot of challenges.
Life
I
is
mean,
hard right
you
now.
know, I'm elderly and now, but you're young. So what are?
We are old ladies.
Once is enough now. I said it once, but I'm going to say it twice. What are some of the challenges that this generation do you see are being faced with? What are the kids dealing with this day and age that stands out?
I think a big one is mental health these days, especially during the pandemic. It's been so rough because we've been stripped away from the communities, like where we feel that belonging, because we really do have that need for the love and belonging.
Totally.
You know?
We're emotional beings. We are
Absolutely.
social creatures by nature.
Absolutely.
And so were you affected, like you're a big personality, so were you able to, with your work and your other interests, able to keep pretty steady, or did it get you down at times being, in high school and not being able to go to school and see all of your friends? Did it personally affect you?
It sure did, but I think during the pandemic, I actually came out of my shell more.
Okay.
Because I began my work during that time and became more involved in school, which helped so much. I joined drama club, so
Right up my alley.
your
She's
mom.
looking at me. We'll have to
That
do
is
something
her thing.
together. We should do something together someday.
Let's be dramatic, just
we
right
I
now.
would love it. I've missed that so much.
It is so fun.
And there haven't been performances, obviously, at the high school,
Yes.
or now there's one happening in the community, though.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
The Bow Bear.
Yeah, it was on the weekend.
Okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
they did an amazing job. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a mystery of something. It's
Island
gone
something.
right. Yeah,
But they're-
it's
but
gone
they're
right out of my
it's getting
head.
back now.
Yes, starting to see it more often.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, yeah.
I've only been in one play.
And she was awesome.
I bet.
It was fun.
Getting now the countdown. When is prom? Tell us a little bit about the plan and how many. Do you know how many are graduating? I know it's not a big class this year, but it's happening. Graduation then prom, or vice versa?
I think it's prom and then graduation. So
Okay.
prom should be June 17th and graduation is June 21st.
And it will be kind of normal this year as compared to
Yes.
other years.
How exciting. We're coming back.
That's
so
good.
they're actually able to do a prom, like a normal prom. I know last year it was going in the cars or
Yeah,
something
they
like
did
that.
the parade. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sad, but
And pardon me, tongue tied here. Diplomas can actually be handed out on stage in person, or was it last year masking, or how did they do that?
Last year they did it outside.
Oh, outside.
Yeah,
With
actually,
masks?
I think people said that they actually enjoyed it. It was shorter.
Okay.
It wasn't as hot,
Yeah.
and you could get more people there because they were all in cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see it, but I remember his dad drove a graduate last year in the prom parade in his little convertible. We call it the baby buggy. It's very cute.
It is beautiful.
It's a lovely car. But anyway, so they did their best with the parade last year for sure.
And Lila talked earlier about the T-shirts that I had all decked out in Chatham on Water Street, just across from the Rod. They have a beautiful business, Joan Blackmore and her
Yes.
daughter. And so it just says J Connection, and it has a little logo on the back, you know, be a buddy, not a bully.
Yes, I have
And
that.
so we're going to try to show up there. If anyone wants t-shirts,
love that.
they're available in all sizes at All Decked Out on the front street, Water Street in Chatham. And we'd love to be there to cheer you on. We'd be a little contingency.
Yes, I already have my shirt.
Yeah, and it feels good, like just to know that, you know, you have that support there. Because when I was there, of course, like you, we have our family, you know, our parents, if we're lucky enough to have parents, and hopefully our siblings. But when you have a whole group of cheerleaders behind you saying that, you know, we want you to shine that night,
Yes.
you'll be beautiful. What are you most excited about? Like the dress or the whole, what are you most excited about?
Oh, I'm very excited about the dress because I'm going to feel so confident. But the most important thing is to be able to get together with my peers and my
Yes.
friends
Yeah.
and everyone for them to have a good time.
I love that.
They still have Safe Grad?
They do. I think this is the first year since the pandemic.
What actually happens during Safe Grad? Like I said, I'm
I
a
love
geriatric
Safe Grad.
now.
Safe
so-
Grad was awesome.
And a lot of sponsors give towards it.
We didn't have Safe Grad. We actually, it was the first time that they had it in when I graduated, and there wasn't a large group that went. But now everybody goes. I chaperoned it 3 times.
You did.
It's
Oh, did
exhausting.
you? You
Yeah.
Where is it exactly?
I believe it is at the Golden Hawk
Golden
or
Hawk still?
possibly the school. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? It is a night where the students get to be kids for the night.
Have fun.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's bouncy castles, and I remember one of them hit me with a jousting pole. It was
Sounds like fun.
he was the happiest he ever was when he hit me with
yes.
the jousting pole. But like then there's pizza and there's movies and there's swimming and there's
Music
just
and-
Yeah.
it's just awesome.
The last hurrah.
yeah.
The last
be lovely.
hurrah. Are you kind of lonesome that this is your grade 12th year and that you're going to be leaving those, like, I have to say that I wasn't in love with all of my years from elementary on. I particularly loved grade 9, and I liked grade 6 a lot, and a couple of the primary years, like, you know. But really and truly, times have changed now, and there's so much more weight and heavy subjects to deal
Yeah.
with in school,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I didn't take all those, the chemistry ones.
Well,
Any-
I failed out of chemistry. I started crying and left.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
So we won't go there. Any last words, Julie, before we end the show and wish you well? Any final thoughts?
I think that it's important for everyone to know that we all have the capacity to spread love to one another and make each other feel that sense of belonging that we all need.
Absolutely.
I do
Absolutely.
too. So we have been utterly pleased with your presence here today, and Lila, and we wish you all the best. Happy graduation, happy prom night.
know.
You're
Thank
going to
you.
be beautiful. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to have a chat on this lovely Monday. We are all week long. Goodbye for now. Have a safe, healthy week. See you soon.